So oftentimes in life, when something is not yet realized, when it's either in the realm of potential or chaos or anything that doesn't have form that's right before us, that can a lot of times be referred to as dark. That what's light is what's a form, and you can name it and describe it, and what is not of form can sometimes be referred to as dark because of the unknown quality of it, because contained in it's contained, it's real, but it isn't actualized. And I'm going to use the word potential. We are beings that have tremendous potential. We are beings that walk in potential. We are beings that have desires that aren't yet realized, that there is a potential of them being realized. We are beings that have qualities that are ever growing in their potentiality. Therefore, a lot of what we are, a lot of how we operate, a lot of what is our essential nature could be said to be darkness in the good sense of that word. And it's worthy, I think, to, especially during Advent, to give reflection to this, to give thought like, well, what does that mean? If I framed dark and light like that, and not like good and bad, right and wrong, awake and ignorant, but if I framed it as actual and potential, what could that possibly mean for me? What could that mean for me? In Matthew chapter 17, verse 20, Jesus says words that shine a bit of a light upon this. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Now, that's a very dramatic statement, and I would imagine that there aren't many human beings that sat before a mountain and stayed there until their faith grew to such that they could move the mountain from one place to another. I think history would tell us if there had been a human being that had been able to do that. So he's used an example that's very, very dramatic, but he's pointing to our potentiality. He's pointing to not potentiality that is something outside of ourselves that we move towards, but something that if with faith, if we awakened to it, if we awakened to it within, we would then discover that we had the ability to what he says, do anything. Nothing would be impossible for you. If you had faith the size of a mustard seed, nothing would be impossible for you. So right there then, in our call to wholeness, to embody God, embody love, we're given a tremendously powerful key. And that key is the all-consuming nature of potentiality, and the way that we are part of the fiber of that potentiality. So in that way, we could look at the darkness of who and what we are, the darkness of our minds not yet understanding, the darkness within our hearts that aren't 100% open yet, the darkness within our bodies and that we are not free of dis-ease. The darkness within us in our inquiry and in our understanding of life and in how we engage everything in our life. We could look at that darkness then as a place where potentiality is showing up. And we could take the parable of Jesus or the words of Jesus and say, I'm going to take my faith and I'm actually going to direct it right here. I'm going to direct it right here. In doing that, we want to direct that attention with great love, not with judgment. Tapping into potentiality is not being hard on ourselves. I think the door would close then. Tapping into our potentiality happens when we acknowledge what it is for what it is. Very powerful, very amazing, very amazing. So, with that today, we are going to we're going to do a short meditation that is with the solar plexus, the third chakra. And if you remember, or if you even use the third chakra a lot in your meditations, you'll know that it's the place of the solar plexus of the I am energy. And the I am is an amazing statement in and of itself, right? Because the I am is I am that. Moses in the burning bush, Jesus, others who are enlightened, I am. So it's us in the world, but it's us in the world still in our potentiality. We are still stepping into ourselves as God's source. So we're going to use that as a way of stepping into the darkness of ourselves so that that potentiality can come forward and we can step forward as light. All right. So I invite you to close your eyes. And with our eyes closed, we take a moment to draw close to ourselves. How is our mind this morning? How is the health of the mind? How is our body? How is our heart? Now, in that, we direct our attention to our third chakra, our solar plexus. And imagine or sense just a few inches above the belly button if you need a place to put your attention. Imagine or sense that it's a whirling vortex moving straight out the front and straight out the back. Now bring your attention to the point in the body where if you're imagining or sensing the vortex moving out the front, that you go to the point of the skin from which that originates, a couple inches above the belly button, and let the breath center there. And as the breath stays there, let the breath expand the energy at that solar plexus. What this means is on every inhale and exhale, you sense that that part of the body is growing in light. It's being infused with light. This light to grow so great that it extends beyond the physical body and becomes something of a large bubble that's just expanding outward with every breath. And now, as this light with the breath of the solar plexus is beyond your physical body, begin to acknowledge or notice all of the potentials that are held in your energy, the desires you have for certain qualities you wish to be or have, the desires you have in service or for family, the desires you have for our world, and let them all be in the energy around you. Notice when you sit, aware of all the potential that exists within you, the potentiality, the urgings, the longings. Notice with the breath, notice with the presence, what that feels like to come into contact with yourself as a manifold and complex being with many desires and longings. As we bring our time together here to a close, Before you open your eyes, before we end this meditative, energetic exercise, I invite you to walk today in the potentiality. Walk today in that part of you that is actually a form of darkness that's creative and generative. And to bring this meditation to a close, I invite you to begin by wiggling your fingers, feeling yourself fully in your body, and then putting the fingers and the palms together and bringing them to the center of the chest, the sternum. Push them against the ribs and release. And then bring the palms up to the forehead. And when you're ready, bow lightly and open your eyes with namaste. Namaste, my friends. Have a great day.